Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for an epic Beyblade X theory discussion video. So, I'm gonna give you guys one more theory video, man. And yeah, and this will be the last one for a while, you know. Or I don't know, maybe I'll just get motivated and just in the zone to make more theory videos, man. That's just not how it goes. Whenever time I watch a new episode, just gets motivated, just in the zone, just to make more theory videos and stuff. But this will probably be the last one for a bit of time and stuff. You know, like I said, there'll be more theory videos a little later, but this is gonna be the last one for now. Yeah. And yeah, I gotta watch episode 126. Yeah, I gotta sit down and watch that. I think it got subbed. I think it did get subbed. So I'll watch it when I have the time to. You know, when I have the time to do it. I've been avoiding it so I can make these theory videos and stuff. And yeah, like I said, when I have the time to, I'll sit down and do the live reaction for it. But yeah, like I said, don't spoil me because I haven't seen it, and you know, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil. But yeah, man, but we're gonna get into it, man. Beyblade X, man. I guess with this, man, yeah, this is gonna be one of them ones where it's gonna be like a lot of dialogue with it. Like I said, usually the ones that I normally sit and talk, you know, normally be a bit, you know, like especially doing the dialogue and stuff with things. So man, I would highly appreciate it if you guys leave a like, man. It definitely, you know, shows, man, a hard-ass worker, man, grinding literally in the garden right now, man, literally grinding in the fucking garden, and yeah, the sun's right the fuck there, and you know, I literally soak in this shit for real, man. It literally shows my will with this, man. So yeah, man, but yeah, you know, just if you want to support, just drop a like down below, and it means a ton, man, you know, man. But yeah, but anyways, man, but we're gonna get into it. So I'm gonna call this video the True X Tower War. I think that's what I'm gonna call it, the True X Tower War with it, or the top of the True X Tower. Yeah, I think that's what I'll go with. But yeah, but if you guys don't want any spoilers on season 3 arc 3, I'll give you guys 5 seconds to click away. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, you've been warned. So we are in the big time spoiler warning territory for season 3 or arc 3. So season 3 or arc 3. So this is coming off the true star battle, you know, the star battle grand final, you know, where Persona became champion and became the #1 team of the entire of the entire X, so on both sides. So basically at this stage of season 1, we had the Slash Tower, right? Going up that tower, finding out everything, you know, Bird joining Persona as well, and X making Persona, then Multi joining, and the rest is history, you know. You know, going up the tower and then facing against Pendragon at the top of the Slash Tower. So yeah, so they were the top of that side of the tower, and then you got season 2, which is the Slash Tower. I mean the Solace Tower, you know, the other side of the tower, and where we met Team Zoniac at the top, you know, Omega Shiraboshi, Mizu Million, and Lance Zoniac. So on the Solace Tower side, like I said, Pendragon, Shigeru Nairo, and also Shieru. Seo Kamakari, you know, Kamen Z, and also Ryuga Chrome. But then, after being established season 2 or arc 2 at the end, basically Persona is at the top of the entire X tower. Of the entire X, so both of the sides. Persona's at the top. So you know, so Pendragon side and then the Zoniac side. And then like Persona's at the top of that top, you know, the whole X city. And that's what expired things with this in a major way, in big time, you know. So Kimbo was going back and watching like the dub version of the Beyblade X anime, and yeah, but there was a few details that absolutely just blew me away. But we're gonna talk about the plot for season 3 or arc 3. So getting into things with it, you know, Zero Kurosu or Kurosu Zero showing up in X City and raising up the true X Tower, the second X Tower to combat the original X Tower. Much darker, a lot darker of a theme, and I made jokes at the beginning. You can look back at all the theories, man. They're in a playlist. You'll see all the different parts that I made for the theories on YouTube, so go and check them out. And I'll even mention them with this. I'll do it so briefly, you know, because you know all the theories and stuff. And what I said, you'll probably hear me say this shit a lot, you know, if you watched all the different theories, you know. With Zero Kurosu showing up in X City, raising up the true X Tower, that shrouded in darkness, declaring war on the original X Tower, declaring war on the original X Tower, you know. And he sent out his 9 children to do so, but he's doing so over time. He starts off by sending out 3, 4, 5, and 8. They start whipping all the bladers from the original X Tower over time. The original X Tower bladers, the pro bladers getting stronger and combating them, and then they end up getting rid of their original bays. So like Clock Mirage, that was owned by 8, you know, clocking fucking 8. If you know, you know. He got rid of that for Orochi Cluster. And then Soda Eclipse, which was owned by 3 and 4 Kurosu. The attack and defense versions, you know, respectfully, they lost, you know. And then they start using Orochi Cluster. And the same thing for 5. 5 had Mummy Curse. And then he lost. And then they all started dishing their bays and stuff and using the Orochi Cluster. Before they started using Orochi Cluster, right before, you had the Under Pros, who were a part of the underworld, become Future Pros. And they rose up and they started to use Orochi Cluster. At the same time, Gigatani, the sponsor of Pendragon, or one of the sponsors of the Dodu Corporation. Dodu Industries, you know, they basically make keychains and shit. You know, it's just the funny part, but you know, but he deflected from the original X Tower. He was the sponsor for Pendragon. He was one of the members. He completely left the president, he left Pendragon, all of them, and deflected over to the true X Tower. And with this is when the Future Pros showed up, Orochi Cluster showed up, and basically Zero having all the Future Pros going out and facing these bladers, and managed to take out majority of these bladers. But then the top level teams from like Team Yggdrasil, Goldius, Suganic, etc., you know, Misleaders, or the Unknowns, managed to put up good fights, you know. So you got Burn, yeah, so you got these bladers like Burn, King, Yoko, Karua, or Carla, if you know, under the dub version, putting up good fights, and they're getting wins, and they're doing well, and they're the ones that were able to take out the Future Pros. So we got that whole entire thing building, and then in the middle of that, like I said, 3, 4, 5, and 8 get rid of their original bays. They also use Orochi Cluster, and then they faced off against Persona in the True X Tower, beating Persona in the True X Tower. Then Zoniac, Team Zoniac, re-emerges. The first time we see them since season 2, and they get the win over 3, 4, 5, and 8, effectively like stopping them. At the same time, when all these battles are going on, Omega Shiraboshi shows up and faces the one Kurosu, or Kurosu 1. He's another one of the Kurosu clan kids. But one's been hyped up as the strongest, and holy shit, there was a fucking big, holy shit. I didn't even see that. But yeah, but they're hyping up one as the strongest. But yeah, but Team Zoniac reemerges. But yeah, I had to backtrack. But the moment that we saw one, he's immediately like the strongest of the kids. But Omega battled one to hold him off from stopping the battle that was going on between X and Chrome. Because the whole setup of the beginning, or the first part of like arc 1 of like season 3, of course Chrome facing off against X and having that fatal battle, which they end up doing. So this is gonna circle back season 2 or arc 2. But looking at the details with things, they foreshadowed this. They foreshadowed a lot of this, okay? So watching through episode 100, going back in time, you know, this is the Star Battle, grand finale, the end of season 2. You know, we saw X face off against Mizu Million, his power going crazy. And being like, this was the first warning shot that they did. They literally was warning about this, about the future with this. They literally foreshadowed what it to come with the next season. Even before we knew about the stuff with the Kurosu clan. Before they dropped the silhouette of Zero or anything, you know, all the kids and stuff. Because at the end of this, at episode 100, they showed silhouettes of all of them. All the kids with the mask at the end of it, like 1 through 9, you know, and then Zero is standing like right in front of them, you know, or standing over them, you know. Even before we knew what they even looked like and stuff. But they foreshadowed this. That's one thing they did. Obviously the foreshadowing was Zero and all the kids. But when X faced Mizu, Jackson faced Mizu, we saw his power go rogue. And the music that they had, dun dun, dun dun, dun dun. And he was fucking pissed. He was mad because Omega and Zoniac tried to stop him from battling. But then they found the loophole where Multi was disguised as Common X. And then X showed up, Jackson Cross, you know, or X Kurosu, because you know, no one knows his like true identity. For like everyone that saw this, like, you know, oh my god, he's showing up for the first time since like the shit with like Chrome and like Pendragon, you know, like that Pendragon X, because that was the last time they saw him when he became Blader X, who was under Pendragon at the time. So no one knew who he was for the first 2 seasons. But still at this point, like a lot of them don't, but a couple of Bladers know who he is without the mask, you know. Only a few select ones know. But with this battle, we saw that Rage come out. It was like a warning because like X got mad. And it's wild, and you'll hear me bring up this point of Rage. The point of Rage. X's Rage came out during that battle because he was mad at Mizu. And then where the point his true power came out to where he launched, and if he wasn't strong, you know, he would have probably self-KO because he was just in the zone and he was just pissed, you know. We saw the red in his eyes when he was battling, and it was nuts. But yeah, but he ended up beating Mizu, and then the final battle being Omega and X facing off, or Jackson, and he won against Omega. Even with Omega's overwhelming power, because it was like nobody in the universe could stop Omega except for one. And that one was X, or Jackson Cross. Genro even said him himself. Of course, Genro being like his father figure, of course, like he raised him when he was like a wee little boy and stuff, because X was orphaned, which we're going back to the point, of course, full circle with it, with season 3 or arc 3. But that's how things ended with the second arc, right? In the middle of the battle with Omega and X, Chrome, when he did like the X, like the Dragonic Break, or that move, he was like Dragonic Break 0. The fucking 0. That's what Chrome said. It's Dragonic Break 0, or not even. And when he said the 0, that was like them foreshadowing Zero Kurosu. motherfucking Zero Kurosu coming in with the 3rd season. Blowing my fucking mind with that. That being one thing. Number 2, being that with the battle with Omega and X, when X and Omega faced off, when we saw X's power going rogue, like starting the show to go rogue, and how it did with Mizu, we saw it a little bit with that true power, like dun 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 dun. Like that music played when he faced Omega, but there was a close-up of his eyes. We didn't even see it, like even during the beginning, but then going back and seeing it, you know, he had a red ring around his eyes even then, which I thought the first time that they did that was when he battled Chrome, you know, in the True X Tower in the 3rd season, but it wasn't. It happened before when he faced Omega. That was the first time that we saw that happen. You know, like we saw like the red ring around like his eyes with the battle with Mizu, you know, but like the red ring around his eyes when he had the smile and everything, it was against Omega. Absolutely blew my fucking mind, dude. And I'm like, whoa. That happened before it even like they faced off against fucking Chrome and shit in season 3, the True X Tower. Crazy. And didn't even notice that. Yeah, going back and just watching like the fucking episodes and just, you know, seeing Kimbo's video and just looking back at it, I'm like, what the fucking fuck, dude? Didn't even notice it. But anyways, now we're gonna fast forward back to the part after season 2 or arc 3. I mean arc 2, you know, that's what happened at the end of it. And then season 3, like I mentioned before, Zero with the kids and everything. Alright, so 3, 4, 5, and 8 doing their battles with the Orochi cluster. Like I said, we're fast forwarding back to the present point that I was making. 3, 4, 5, and 8 battling Persona with Orochi cluster. All of them having it. They all got draws at the beginning, but then the second battle, they were all so scared of Zero Kurosu, abandoning them. That being 3, 4, 5, and 8. The kids, oh man, like if we lose, Papa's gonna like abandon us. You know, and they fought with their emotion and with that. And Zero, he took advantage of that, like a freaking neglectful father that just doesn't care about your fucking kids and just using them for pawns. And it fucking sucks. I really still hope that they have a family reunion or a redemption arc and realize what he's doing and break away from this shit. But you know, but they beat Persona. Zoniac returned and got the win against them, like I said before. And now, leading to this point right now, like I said, 1 and Omega facing off. It was like a draw, but Omega was just holding back 1, you know. And even with the things with Omega, she had a game plan with everything with the 2nd season. At the end, with whether she won or lost, like the saying that the Shiraboshi style never loses, it's like no matter what plan, it's always like he wins and think about the future with things, you know, including like the new Shiraboshi school that Tanka's running now. But when Zoniac returns, it was the new Shiraboshi school, you know, with Tanka being in the league. Well, kind of like the sub-instructor, you know, because Omega did leave and came back on some occasions. But Omega as well as Zoniac, with the battles against the Kurosu clan showing up. And like I said, Omega, she held off 1, and then the rest of Zoniac went and stopped 3, 4, 5, and 8 and defeated them. So at that point, Zero went and discarded 3, 4, 5, and 8, the kids. He's like, their rows are done, and that was it. After that battle happened, this is when Persona left X City for a bit to go train with Team Zoniac at the Shiraboshi school. And then Pendragon also left. So, you know, still meanwhile, all these other bladers are still sitting and fighting in X City, fighting the future pros and stuff, right? Same thing. So some of the top level bladers are getting by the future pros. The lower level bladers, the future pros are taking them out. But then everything changed one day when Kurosu one showed back up. So this man had a black shirt on before, but then like symbolizing of the power with the second arc, you know. This was the beginning of the second arc of, the second arc with things with arc 3, part 2. Like part 2, if you will, because like the first arc was basically, you know, with things with 3, 4, 5, and 8, and then we got this arc with the new kids coming in. Getting that a little later. But this is when part 2 starts off. One shows back up, got a new shirt, a blue jacket, hoodie, and showing off his like powerful build, and you know, he's strong, and it shows. Zero Kurosu Zero, like he's no small dude, like he's fucking jacked, dude. Like he's got the whole mask on and everything, but he's jacked. Like one has the strength from Zero and such, being like his number 1 kick. But he shows back up and whoops every single blader that actually was getting a win over against the future pros. Like whoever won against the future pros, you know, won against the future pros, like you're not getting by me, and he took all of them down. So all of this happened while Persona was gone. Persona was training with Zoniac, and Pendragon was also out of town when they were gone, you know. Pendragon got a hold of Persona, Team Persona, when they were with Team Zoniac. It told them how Omega faced off against one with Bahamut Blitz, his Bay in the custom line system, like with the Expand Blade, and 9 got really pissed because, you know, 9 being like the daughter that defected over from the Kurosu clan, you know, going to war, and Persona, before Zero started all of this at the beginning of the season 1, you know, not the 1 but 9 got pissed because Zero took the idea of the custom line Expand Blade from her, you know. It was originally just thrown away, but Zero went in and got the data, used it to make Bahamut Blitz, you know. He and she was pissed, you know. Like, you know, the figure, you know, for like the stolen data and stuff. And they all figure it out, like you stole that data, huh? So then after that, you know, 9 got really discouraged. Like how I can beat 1 or 0, the remaining siblings. Oh my god. And then Persona reassured her, like if we're gonna win, we do this, we get the victory with it. We got this. You know, especially like X or Jackson Cross saying that. And she's like, I can't roll over, just quit now. I can, you know. So, you know, they created Ragnarage. They created Night Fortress 2, the Expand Blade, and then leading up to the most recent episode, which is like 125. So they, you know, like like Persona returns and stuff from the Shiraboshi school. You know, the remaining players in Persona returning from the Persona and, you know, the Shiraboshi school to Kiwami Sushi, you know, back in X City, and eliminate Zero, you know, and puts on he puts on a hologram. Zero puts on the hologram and, you know, says, hello, Team Persona, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed things. He made the entire town cloudy. The entire city is covered in like dark aura, darkness with the clouds being shady and all that. And he's like, this is my X City now, representing the True X Tower. During the True X Tower War, I told you we were gonna get rid of all the bladers. And we defeated, establishing 99% out of all of them. There's 1% left. And we can't leave any variables. So I'm going to open up the true X Tower, to the remaining 1% who has not lost to us for this far, you know, which leads to this build up with this part of this arc with the true X Tower War, he calls it. And this is where things ramp up with this discussion of this, you know. So the top X Tower with this video, so here's the point. So this far, the first blader that steps up is Persona. Showed up at the true X Tower, and one showed up there. They were like, he's supposed to be like the strongest one, and they were all so confused, like why is one here? I thought he was the strongest one. Why is he here on this floor, you know? And then Quinn Maju shows up. So Quinn, being a legendary blader herself, you know, she faced legendary bladers like 10,000 wins under her belt. You know, she's an absolute queen legend, you know. She shows up and challenged one. She's like, I'm a part of the 1% who hasn't lost, and she battles with Shinobi Shadow, and you know, with Bahamut Blitz, you know, tries to with the bag of the wisdom, you know, seeing through everything and stuff, and she's like, I can't even see the results, but the results are the same at the end, you know. And she ends up losing to one, you know, what means he and then sitting and playing with her, you know, because one was literally sitting there and just playing with her at the end of the day. It's literally like one was sent on this floor as a warning shot, like, if y'all keep going, it's not gonna end well for you. We're just doing this just like, you know, it's a warning, but also going off of 0 orders. So 3, 4, 5, and 8 is like out of commission with this. So the remaining bladers, so if you do the math, 9 is one of the side of Persona. We're missing 2, 6, and 7. Like, you know, the 2, 6, 7 with it. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm not the, you know, don't look at me like, come on, you're asking. It's TT. You know, I swear they left them at the last just to fucking do the meme and shit. But they're the remaining bladers. But one's the first blader that shows up on the 20th floor, faces Quinn, beats Quinn, and then after that, Persona steps up. So 9 steps up to face 1. And then 1 immediately says, like, you know, 9, like the custom line, expand blade, that Bay Bahamut Blitz is a custom line expand blade. And then 1 says, I'll quote 0 here, 9, I'm stealing your custom line expand blade design. He used it to make Bahamut Blitz, like I said before, and she got pissed. That smug attitude of his, I'm not gonna let him win, or his future sure to come to reality, you know. And then we got the flashback of everything that happened when they were training with the whole information, finding about Bahamut Blitz from Pendragon, all that stuff, you know, filling in the details a little bit with that episode. But then with that, 1 was like, I don't understand it. Why won't you come back to the Kurosu clan? It's 9's like, I'm not gonna let things go down that way. I'm gonna help Persona and the original X Tower win. And then 1 gets serious, kinda. He's like, you really wanna try and defeat the Kurosu clan, your siblings, and 0. And the silhouette's wild. It's probably gonna be the one that I'll use for the thumbnail. I'll use it for the last one, and holy fucking shit. Yeah, it was fucking wild, man. But yeah, but now this is where things gets picked up in a major way. So 9 made Ragnarage with all the research and everything in the training to this point to face Bahamut Blitz, setting up to beat 1, but she didn't. And she still doesn't stand a chance, you know. During the whole battle, we see the dynamic. 1 being the strongest. Like, like you never saw like our emotions and stuff. You know, telling one that like you never saw like our emotions as the other siblings. We all sat and tried to work as we could, and you always would bulldoze past and just got the win against everyone. They used the metaphor of the sugar cubes, you know. They used the metaphor of the sugar cubes again. We saw this metaphor before with a previous episode, except they were all showed as mannequins. You know what I mean? And it was like a big pile of sugar cubes, like if they were all climbing up like if it was a mountain, you know. But it's like a cup of coffee, you know what I mean? It's like Zero's putting the coffee, you know, because he drinks coffee. He's putting like a bunch of sugar down the coffee and stuff. And he's like, all the kids are at the bottom of it. The bottom of that cup, and all the kids are trying to climb up to Zero, you know? Because it's like a metaphor of like them trying to get their love and attention for Zero. You know, because all the kids want to get affection and love for Zero, and it fucking sucks, man. You know, like I said, I hope they have a redemption arc for it. But yeah, but like I said, I hope they have like a family type shit where like Zero, like I hope they just realize what the fuck Zero's doing, you know, after this, and just realize all of this, because yeah, they showed it again, and except for this time they didn't show them as the mannequins, you know. They show them all as like, you know, 3, 4, 5, and 8 with things. So yeah, you know, and like we haven't seen like 2, 6, and 7 because we haven't seen them. We haven't seen their fully designs of them yet at this point. But you know, but they always hold off on that. They're gonna hold off on that because, you know, then we're gonna see 1 start, you know, at the bottom, you know, and then 9 saying without any in the, you know, with any full indifference, just with the overwhelming power, you know, past all of us in the blink of an eye. You see him climbing up all the different cubes to get into the top to Zero, and he's just sitting there waiting, you know. And one said, "You're all too greedy. This is about Zero's future, like Zero's future plans. So isn't it good enough if you like this? If you like this happened for him, you know?" And then Quinn explains. So she explains how 1 has no emotions during Bay battles. Like he doesn't care. Like winning or losing, you know? Like normally you get happy if you win, upset if you lose. He's indifferent. Even with how talented and strong he is, he's indifferent because he never felt those emotions, you know, because it's guaranteed for him to win, because he literally never lost to anybody ever. Even shows with this, like 99% of the Bladers already down, and yeah, it's wild, you know, that 9 and 1 continues their battle, and then 1 goes in and says, like, he's giving prompts. He doesn't, like, he's like having like a strong bay. It's like a very exciting design, and 9's like, wear this out of nowhere. But the 1 says, like, this is why I'll tell you this. There is no one in this timeline that is capable of surpassing me. And there's a crazy look in 9's eyes, like terrified, you know, and he used the extreme dash, divine roar, and completely tears through Ragnar Rage. All of that effort that 9 put in and such was for nothing, and still got absolutely bulldozed by 1. They're establishing this man as an absolute insane threat. So now we're leading into things at this point. I know it took a long while to explain this. Like, I got owe it this. Just for anybody that didn't see the previous ones, I hope you do. You see all the theories at this point. And it shows I'm excited about the show. But now we're at this fucking point. Now, the 40th floor. After the battle with 9. Actually, no. We're still on the 20th floor. because after the battle with 9, X showed up, and Persona was all there, but X appeared, and stepped up to 1. He was like, hey, he was about to take his mask off, and this is as he's Common X with the mask, But before he takes the mask off, it's a live stream. Zero pushes the button. He pushes the button so that X isn't revealed, so that he hasn't shown his true identity, He doesn't want to know that. Some people know who he is, but at this moment, I didn't even realize. Then Quinn didn't even know who X was, under the mask, Like, she didn't know that Common X was Kurosu X. They still being masked, but with this moment, Quinn found out because she saw him take off the mask, and she was kind of like shocked, And select bladers know like what? Zoniac knows, Pendragon knows, Quinn now knows, and a couple of other people know. But the underworld or the underground organization knowing who Common X truly is, because that is like everyone else doesn't know, and still like this matter because like the master blader, the mystery, that mystery to everyone else, like the mystery blader, but he steps up and he's like, the true X Tower War, I've been looking forward to this so bad. But his fucking eyes, absolutely crazed, dude. Like, and he's like, you know, the same power that we saw throughout the season battling, and it gets that much worse, that we saw at the beginning, with things. We saw this beginning of things at the end of season 2 of arc 2, with the star battle, and it's just a fucking insane, dude. Like, this man, but one and X faced it off, and they drew, and honestly, like, Bahamut Blitz was pushed back and Dran Strike in a little bit, but it was like Dran Strike versus Bahamut Blitz, so it drew, the battle drew. And Zero said him to draw with X, that's literally what Zero said to 1. And of course he did it, So that's how the battle ended it, with a draw, with a draw. And it makes sense because that battle's not happening yet, Like that full true power, they haven't even showed their true power during this. Like, this is a precursor and it's foreshadowing. They're still foreshadowing, at this stage, for what's to come at the end of all this, at the very top of this tower. But this is what leads to this point. I'm sorry it took so long to explain it, just wanted to try to like explain for the people that haven't seen my theories and stuff, and I really hope you do, because it takes a lot of time to do it. It even shows by this, it's gonna be like 4 to 3 days to even try to make this vid. But yeah, man, so sorry it took long to explain it, just for the people that haven't seen the theories, there you go. Like, I'm not pulling this information out of my ass, Like, go and watch the show and stuff, and the episodes, what's up. Like, I'm gonna say straight motherfucking facts with this. Like, not gonna have evidence for what I'm saying, But now, this is where the point that it gets real. So they decide to go and back off. Zero shows up at the end. And he's like, great job, you passed the 20th floor. You managed to get a draw. But you can go to the 40th floor. Yeah, alright, yeah, we're back. We're back. Yeah. I then went out for a task and stuff, and yeah, took a break, and we're jumping right back into it. But yeah, so Zero said you can go up to the 40th floor if you want to, and then they decided not to because they're not ready for that yet. And then Zero says, wise choice. A festival can't end in one day. See you soon. Basically that. And then they went back and regrouped and thought of a strategy. So while they were at Kiwami Sushi, somebody else stepped up, and that being the introduction of Kiwami. So Kiwami being a amateur blader who shows up with Unicorn Delta. Unicorn Delta made by Pakin. You know, so like Pakin, you know, he's basically like a big crafter, or like a, you know, basically he just focused on views and stuff, and you know, that's, you know, with his Pakin channel and stuff. So we saw him pull this stuff so many times throughout the series, but he transferred over the True X Tower, got the information from Zero with the custom line expansion blades, and then all of that stuff, and then he used the knowledge that he got from Zero, also from the data with Unicorn Delta and Uni's Unicorn Sting, to make Kiwami's Unicorn Delta. And yeah, and Kiwami said, you know, she'll step up and go, you know. So this leads to this moment right here and right now. Now I haven't seen 126. I am waiting for it to get some, well, it should be already sold, but you know, just avoiding it for now because making this theory video and stuff, and of course when I have the time to, I will do a live reaction for it, but I've been avoiding the internet for it, you know, one reason being making these theory videos and stuff. Second thing is when I have the time to sit down and make a live reaction. So yeah, I don't want to know if you've seen the episode, don't spoil and stuff. Yeah, well, thanks. I'll watch it when I have the time to, like I said before. Yeah, and like I said with the theories, I don't know if there'll be any more theory videos after this. I don't know, probably not for a while. You know, there's still gonna be batch of theory videos, but this is gonna be the last one for a bit of time until like later towards, you know, the series. So Kiwami walks in the True X Tower. She has Unicorn Delta. He's like, I'll face you with Unicorn Delta and I'll win. And then with this, we are at the 40th floor. So that being with Kiwami there, and also the debuting of Kurosu 2. Two Kurosu, and two Kurosu having Bullet Griffin. We saw two talking to Zero when one showed up, you know, when he was showing up on the 20th floor and stuff, when he was facing Quinn. Like, why can I not battle yet? Because it's not your turn yet. That's what Zero told her then. And then she showed Bullet Griffin. But then building this actual thing. So it's going to be Unicorn Delta and Bullet Griffin. I'm obviously expecting 2 to win, you know, because it's you know, like they're both doing debut battles, you know, but I see Kiwami just, you know, I see 2 just ending up winning against Kiwami, just being real. You know, like Kiwami I think is going to be strong as well, but just like with 2 with Bullet Griffin, literally it's just, it splits into 2, you know. It's going to be impossible to take it out, you know. You know, and it's probably gonna shock the whole world and everyone going, you know, going to be like it, like, oh, like what this gimmick? Oh wow, like it splits into 2, and also Bullet Griffin, you know, having to split the 2 gimmick. It's a good gimmick, you know, like you know, like even with the show, man, like, you know, just how they perfected this gimmick, it's so cool, you know, just to split into 2. And yeah, you know, like they perfected this gimmick in X in a major way with this, but yeah, y'all know what I mean. Like they perfected the gimmick with X, you know, like it's the best projectile gimmick that they had with X so far, and yeah, it's dope. Yeah, we see this gimmick throughout time, and they fully perfected it with X. So it's usually strong in the show, but in real life it's normally like gimmicky and stuff, you know. Splits into 2, like Bullet Phantom, you know, the Venom Deal Bolos 5 with the bullet, you know. But yeah, but in real life it's a dope bay, it's a reliable play. And I'm guessing that's how it's gonna go. So after this, we gotta talk about the remaining floors. So we're going off of every floor of every challenge, you know? So 20 was 1, and that made it where 1 drawed, so yeah. So that leaves 40, 60, 80, and 100 with it. You know, the 100 being the top. So you got 2 on the 40th floor, and then that'll make it to where the point we got 60 to 80 left until the top. So we still gotta see 2, 6, and 7 appear. So my guessing is with the remaining floors. So my guess the next one after 2, with floor 80, my guess will be 6. You know, with Brachio Whip. Yeah, but I'm gonna give my thoughts on 2. I mean, not 2. I'm give my thoughts on 6 real quick. So, Brachio Whip. So, Brachio Whip's a Dino Bay, which I absolutely fucking love it. You know, it comes out what? It comes out like what? This Saturday, the June 13th. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's a long neck dino, or some shit. I don't fucking know. A long neck. He's showing up. I'm pretty sure he'll be strong and stuff. He looks strong. You know, he reminds me of like Dinah from Beyblade Burst, from the Burst series. He reminds me of Dinah. You know, like I just fucking, dude, his design looks so fucking sick. You know, like even like his, you know, his bandana. I think he wears a bandana, but his bandana, you know, has like lines. Yeah, I think it has like what, 3 lines. So you know, like what? I forgot. Like it has 2 crosses, like 2 X's on it. So yeah, like what? Like think 3 X's. He has 3 X's to make it like, you know, pretty sure. Yeah, you know, but you know, it represents, like, you know, I love the Kurosu because all of them have like designs. You can even see it with their even how they, you know, build and stuff. You know, you see their designs with it, you know, and you can see it with his bandana, even having the 6 with it. It's dope. But I definitely think he's gonna be strong. And also 2 looking a little bit like Tsubasa, man. I won't even lie to you guys. Tsubasa from Metal Fight, like she low-key look kind of like Tsubasa, you know, kind of having that Tsubasa swag with it, you know, which I dig it. It's fucking cool and stuff, and yeah, it's sick, man. You know, just give me that vibe for real. And also like Xander Shakadera vibes, just how like 2 looks and stuff. Oh yeah, like the high head of like, but both like they look like, or the 2. You know, giving like me Tsubasa vibes with it. You know, each of them paying homage, and that's what I like about the Kurosu clams. Even with their designs and even with their bays, man, come on. But I'm sure 6 is gonna show it with Brachio Whip on floor 60, and then floor 80 will probably be 7. You know, we haven't seen the design of 7 yet, so my guessing 7's design will, or you know, 7's bay will probably be Ring Aether or Heaven's Ring. It's been in the cold for a little bit. It got confirmed under Hasbro. They're dropping it with the summer stuff, but we still haven't seen it on TT. But I definitely think he is gonna own it. You know, Ring Aether, and even just how like we've seen it already, like the elements and the vibes. We've seen it with the silhouette. Yeah, like come on, like you know, like, even like yeah. That's what I think. That's just how I think. Because like one of the silhouettes, like he had a halo around him. So yeah. So Ring Aether, a Heaven's Ring, it makes sense. Y'all know what I mean? But yeah, but we see those battles with 2, 6, 7, all of them, and then they'll probably go down. Like it'll probably be intense. Like Multi's probably gonna take down one of them with her Night Fortress and stuff. We still gotta see Bird's new bay and stuff. Because X got a new bay with Dran Strike. It's a BX Infinity. Night Fortress is a CX Infinity custom bay. You know, switching to 4 parts and stuff with it, customization line with it. You know, so with Multi, with Night Fortress, and then we also got 9 with Ragnarage also being a CX Infinity bay. So if you do all the math, we gotten X, he has a BX Infinity bay, 9 in Multi, They have CX bays, Infinity. What's missing? Bird with a UX Infinity bay. You know, UX Infinity is what's missing out of Persona with it. I'm expecting it to be like a UX Infinity bay, but the rumored name that's been going around, it got trademark recently, and the name for the new bay, just quote unquote, because it might not be it, the actual name, but the trademark name is Hell's Nether. So Hell's Nether got trademarked recently. So maybe Hell's Nether being a UX expand blade. Now UX expand blades usually have a gimmick. Now this is interesting because, you know, if we are looking at like how the Amish, like if we're really paying attention how like the Amish with it, like Dran's Strike was based off of like what? Dran's Sword and Dran Dagger. Night Fortress, I mean, kinda pays homage to like, it pays homage to all of like the knights, to be honest with you. But would it be cool if it's like, what if like maybe like this new Hell's Bay pays homage to like Hell's Scythe and Hell's Chain, and a little mix of Hell's Hammer with it? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like maybe like some like, imagine if it has some like Hyperion Bird gimmick where just like some Limit Break fucking shit where it has like expandable blades that pop out, or like what, I don't fucking know that they'll do with it. I made like a video talking about like, oh, like what possible gimmicks that they will do with Bird's new bay. I made a little video on it, but yeah, maybe some like expand blades or some shit. And what'll be whopping crazy if this man gets a dual rotation bay. That would be fucking nuts. Yeah, no bay has dual rotation yet. We never got a dual rotation bay in X. And you talk about the trump card with it, a dual rotation bay, man. And if Bird has it, come on, man. Come on, man. You want to establish this man being like setting him up being the strongest up there with Persona with this. Yeah, there you go. But like I said, 6, 7, you know the 60th floor and the 80th floor, and at the top floor it's gonna be one's gonna be at the top floor for sure. Like, one's gonna be there, zero's gonna be there. Holy shit. Yeah, zero's probably gonna be watching to see what happens with one. Like, he's gonna be sitting in the background watching. And it's probably going to be sad because he's probably going to do the same thing with all the kids that he did basically with 3, 4, 5, and 8. Basically discarding them and using them as pawns or puppets to get his, just using them. And he's probably going to do the same thing with 2, 6, and 7 with things. And, and maybe even with 1, It just fucking, it's sad, man. It really is sad, because when they eventually start going down, it's probably gonna be like that, kind of how 3, 4, 5, and 8 was kind of falling. It's gonna probably be the same way with them. And I hope the kids really realize this shit, man. Like, come on. And then 1 facing off. Like, and we gotta see 1 face off against more Bladers. Like, I said this a lot. We would like, but before we get that ultimate battle between X and 1, we gotta see some battles, man. I talked about this before you already. So, my list of battles that I want to see with 1. Now, you already fucking know. One of them gotta be Omega. And come on, Omega. Like, they battled before, but you already know what happened, like I said. But they wasn't showing their true powers. Like, Omega just played with 1 at the end of the day, Like, we gotta see them go crazy. We gotta see them battle. We gotta see Chrome versus 1. That's a battle that gotta happen. Tenga versus 1, that'll be a dream battle, but I don't know. I don't know if Tenga's gonna get past 1 or not. I don't know. I think Tenga might go down, to be honest with you guys. But the top 3, the top 3, man. X, Chrome, Omega. Yeah. But before the battle with X, we gotta see 1 face off against those Bladers. Like, yeah. And like I said, they can, like, they're not even out of this. They, like, what? Like, they're not even out of this. Pendragon, Zoniac, they're not even out of it. Zero still gotta deal with them. It's like the 99%. 99%. You know, I said it earlier. But yeah, they can still be a part of things with it, like I mentioned before. You know, like them being a part of the True X Tower, because yeah, they're not done with it. I definitely, come on, we gotta see them. You know, like we gotta see Omega, Tanka, yeah. So maybe we see them during like these battles. You know, like how Kiwami just showed up in Battle 2. Maybe it'll be like that when like they just show up, because like I said, they got to be a part of this. They ain't out of it. They ain't out of Zero Plans yet, because they haven't lost yet to the Gross Clan. But imagine if we get maybe on the 80th floor, the 64 80th floor, we get maybe when they face off against 6. You know, maybe we see like Shigeru, Kamen Z, they battle, they go down and stuff. And like I said, it's gonna be like that, you know, like they're gonna go down and stuff. You see them going down. Maybe Mizu and Lance, maybe when they get to like maybe floor 7, when they get up to like 7 Kurosu, maybe we start seeing them, and then they start going down, you know what I mean? And it continues, you know. But then it'll be left where it's like you got Omega, Chrome, Tanka, and yeah, those are really the 3 left. You know, I can probably see Tanka maybe going down. I can probably see Omega going down. I can probably see Chrome going down. You know, you can see them eventually start going down with this, because it's like some life after fucking death shit. You know, you lose, you're done. And that's basically how it is, because you gotta keep winning to go up the floors and stuff, you know. But yeah, but like I said, taking Omega, X, and Chrome being the best shots, you know, I can see them being at the top of the floor with things, you know, like I mentioned. And then 1, I mean, Tanka's strong, but like I said, man, like, I mean, like, she's strong, but like it's 1, and like I just, yeah, 1 will probably just take down Tanka, you know, and then that'll force things with Omega. Then yeah, that battle, yeah, it's gonna be close, and all of them are gonna be close. But it's just 1, man. Like, yeah, Tanka versus 1 winning. That'll force things with Omega, you know, because the daughter connection with things. So then Omega steps up, 1 takes down Omega, and then Chrome, and then maybe Chrome going down, and this is where it gets crazy. But they really haven't won us the strongest. Now he's saying like no one can beat me in this timeline. If he defeats Omega, that'll be insane. Like that already shows it, you know. It would also show if he gets by Chrome, especially with X, because like if 1 takes down Chrome, then that'll probably expired X, get fascinated, like, oh, like you beat Chrome, because like Chrome and X, they're they're friends, you know. It's like a mentor, you know, because they're friends, you know. But that'll trigger X to come after 1, and like, yeah, that's where we really see the true battle. Like, I think like all this is building up to the true battle with X and 1, their second battle. It's gonna be nuts. Because the first time they battled, it was a draw, because he wasn't given his full strength. And he's been pissed ever since then. Like, when was the last time you saw X pissed? The fucking rage, dude. This is going back to the point that I said earlier with things. He's pissed because he didn't use his full power. And that rage coming out even more with things. Because when 9 showed Ragnar Rage, 0 said, rage is the best motivator. That's holy shit, man. It shows that he's just going after the rage. But yeah, but when Chrome and X faced off in the last arc, you know, like the first end of this arc, like we saw the red ring around his eyes, and this is obviously going back to when he had the red ring. It's the second time we saw that. And Chrome was like, this isn't the same X that I grew up with, you know, with Pendragon, you know. So he'll definitely be with the battles towards the end. Like I said, if 1 takes out Chrome in front of X, that'll bring out the fire much more in X. And then after that, we see the battle between X and 1. Because then it'll probably be at that point where Bird and X, who haven't lost. Because Bird's not battling because Zero sees him as a threat and he's like, whatever. And then X, and one face off. And then we see the true power battle with this. X wins this battle. But like I said, when he wins, it's even worse than we see when he battled Chrome and X. Like, this is the point where X's power goes absolutely rogue. And that rage starts to come out. And it's not even his fault. It's because of what Zero did when they were all kids, when they were younger. Because X is the 10th sibling. Because X is not a part of these left out of the family, you know? Like 1 through 9 went through this stuff with Zero. And Underground, even before Underground, in the tracks, and then X was orphaned. And it's for whatever reason, we still don't know. But it'll probably be the point with this, with his master scheme and the whole plan at this point, because it's coming for fruition. That being that he had X go off, you know, as a kid because he saw all this rogue going power that was inhuman in X. And he's like, I'm gonna raise up the other kids to be strong and bring out the power with them much more. But X is exhibiting it the most, and I'm gonna have him orphaned. I'm not gonna have time to sit and focus on him. Genro can focus on him because he was orphaned, and then Genro took care of him when he was a wee little boy, you know. And that's the story with X, you know, and that's the history with X. But with the other 9 kids, with Zero, of course, but then in culminating leading up to this point. So all of X's power starting to increase, his power going rogue and going wild. After 1 goes down, X's power goes crazy, and then he goes rogue. Can imagine that being a thing with this. And also the question, Zero's also at the top of this as well. So maybe it's like where like his power doesn't come out with 1, then Zero shows up, because we got Valkyrie Volt and Glory Valkyrie that hasn't showed up yet in the show. And we saw a silhouette of Valkyrie Volt, I believe, in the show. And also it's a rare bay. It's a rare bay get battle. Normally it usually be the rare bays that the antagonist has, you know. Like, if you don't know, Cobalt Drake, Cobalt Dragoon, Impact Drake, you know, Chrome, the antagonist of season 1, antagonist of season 2, you know, Arrow Pegasus, Pegasus Blast, you know, that rare bay get battle prize, you know, Omega belongs to Omega, Omega Shiraboshi, you know, the antagonist of season 2, the antagonist of season 3 being Zero, with Valkyrie Volt Glory. Yeah, it makes sense, you know. And speaking of Glory Valkyrie, I've been holding off talking about it. I don't know if I should wait until Coral drops or if I should talk about it now. Like I said, I mean, well, Hasbro just came out. Like, I mean, everyone was talking about it. I don't know if I'll sit down and talk about it. If y'all want me to, then I'll do a video on it. But yeah, but Glory Valkyrie LF. But either Zero shows up with Valkyrie Volt or Glory Valkyrie. Maybe X faces off against Zero, and Zero has Valkyrie Volt. And then he managed to beat Valkyrie Volt, maybe. But then his power goes rogue with that. But then there's still Glory Valkyrie to deal with. Even at that stage, you know what I mean? And the question is, who's gonna face Glory Valkyrie? Will it be X? Like, is it like X's power? Because like maybe he can still hang on as much as he can to where the point that he's getting to Zero to face him. Maybe he gets to win against Zero? Who knows? Or either that Zero makes the ultimate bay just to take out everyone, or it's the last step in his plan. Or maybe X gets by it or beats it or whatever. And maybe at that point he gets by Glory Valkyrie, and maybe after that point his power starts going rogue to the fullest Maximus. Yeah, just rogue. Who knows? Or maybe it's before that. Or maybe if it's after the battle with 1, like, you know, after the battle with 1, his power going rogue. There was another theory that I made about Zero kidnapping X and then making them evil and stuff, but I can see it maybe not really going down that aroma, but yeah, it's gonna be like that where no one can save him from it. And that's the sad thing. But yeah, because he's corrupted from this power, it's not even his fault. Or maybe if X leaves X City, I don't know if they'll leave us on a cliffhanger. Like, I mean, that'll be like a major setup for season 4. Like, yeah, Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, if they left us on a cliffhanger of X just leaving X City and going to the true X Tower, yeah, that'll be fucking nuts. Y'all know what I mean? Like, that'll be a wild card cliffhanger. And then that'll maybe put the pause on it for now until season 4. Like, he goes in the X Tower and then gets kidnapped or some shit. But maybe that might not be the case. This is a theory that I've stuck by for the longest time. And if X does go down this rabbit hole, who's gonna save him? Who is the best candidate to do it? One blader. The one blader that's been thrown inside is the 1% that is a disruptor. It's been a constant disruptor, you know. Just going back and talking about things, you know, going back to season 2 or arc 2 with things. With the battle with the star battle. Omega, because she wanted a full dominating battle with it. Right? Who disrupted it? Bird did. Or Robin, because he got a draw with Lance. She wanted an absolute perfect victory. And that even threw off Omega's calculations back then. Bird has been a disruptor. He might not have won a single full-fledged battle fully, but he's been an absolute disruptor. And this is where the point that he's going to be a disruptor again. And you can see, like, this is leading into like, the Bird Kazami theory video, you know, that I did. And like I said, I'm taking bits and pieces from these theory videos, man. Like I said, this is the ultimate one. This is the ultimate one. Like, if y'all haven't seen the theory videos yet, here you go. Yeah, one ultimate theory video, and yeah. But I guess this is like the big time grand finale for it, I guess, some shit. Because even with this, like, I've been sitting and talking for like, what? 40 minutes? Like, yeah. And plus, I took a break. So, basically, been doing this shit all day. Basically. You know, of course with breaks. I knew I was going to do this with breaks. But, yeah. Basically all damn day. And also been doing it in the sun. Yeah, which just shows my will with it. And this will probably be the last theory video for a while. I don't know, maybe by the time I get done this, it'll be like an hour or some shit. Yeah, or some shit, you know. But yeah, this is definitely probably going to be the last theory video for a bit of time. And I mean that. With all the info and everything, this will probably be the last one and stuff. Like, we gotta see how everything resolves and stuff. Just gotta call my shot with all of this, man. But Bird, with Hell's Nether, like I mentioned before, maybe with his new Bay Hell's Nether, maybe breaking through Dran Strike. It's like some shoe type of vault type of aura. So, you know, going to Beyblade Burst and stuff, season 2 with God, you know, how we've seen him going through all the memories of Shu, and then Vault yelling, Shu! And, you know, saving him from, you know, the brainwash that Surprise and Requiem was controlling, you know. Like going, like saying, like, this is not you, X, you know, looking, you know, like I said, take what I just said and just put it with, you know, the connection with Bird and X, you know, like, you know, like, kind of like the same thing, like going back all the memories that Bird and X had when they started X City, when, you know, when Bird showed up in X City and looking through all their battles and stuff and achievements and stuff and all the memories and stuff and saying, like, this is not you, X, like, yeah, you know, like, I want my fucking sushi. Or maybe just remember fucking sushi or some shit and just get fucking happy with it, I don't know. But yeah. And then probably like that same scenario of like him saving X at the end of it, you know. Like going back with it a little bit, you know. But like, you're my best friend, you know, like going through the memories, talking about it and saying like, you're my best friend, you know. Because they made Persona with multi-Bird X, you know, like this isn't you, you know. Like this is Zero's bullshit. Going and doing this to all of your siblings when you were younger, being a part of the master plan, and we're gonna stop it, and I'm gonna get you back. And then this is where I said about the scene with Vault yelling like, Show! Show! And then, you know, saving him probably a similar way. When Vault saved Shu from his Red Eye arc at the end of season 2 of Beyblade God, or Evolution, or Beyblade Burst God, or, you know, that type of battle. And then Bird saves him, and then that'll be the point where we get X back, you know. And even if Zero's left at that point, it could be Bird, X, or it could be both of them. You know, them teaming up to take down Zero with Valkyrie bolts. Like I said, it could be either one of the or. It can either be Bird that stops Zero himself, which that'll be fucking nuts with his new Bay. It can either be X that takes down Zero. Like I said, it can be either or with it. But what would be the coolest fucking moment is them working together to stop Zero. Either one of the two gets to win against him, or both of them. Maybe even if it's for this round, and then Zero vanishes from X City. You know what I mean? But I feel like when all this goes down, because we haven't seen him took off the mask. We don't even know what he looks like under the mask, you know, what's behind the mask, you know. So maybe if we get, maybe after once he gets defeated, maybe he starts getting emotional in a major way. You know where I'm going with this, where he tells the story about how he orphaned X, because we still don't know. And like, yeah, like type shit, like going around that aroma, you know, like takes out the mask and then tells the story about how like he orphaned X, and telling that whole story with it, of how he used all the siblings to reach X, X raising up, basically grooming them all for X, to have his power go rogue, and to defeat them, and then having the ultimate power under control. You know what I mean? Like, something like that, you know, but all this culminating and stuff through the top of the tower, like somebody taking him out. Like I said, at this stage, the best candidates are X and Bird to take out Zero. If that's truly the end of this. Now, I don't know if they go with the other route of doing like a full cliffhanger, or we'll find out in season 4 with it. But yeah, but I can imagine that Zero leaves X City, and the focus being on the entire world, you know, getting into season 4 shit with this. But you know, but yeah, maybe like he leaves the city, and then maybe there'll be like a world championships or some shit, you know, with it, where like he's maybe gone for now, but like he's not done. And that's the craziest thing. Like, yeah, it's like I'll be back or some shit. And maybe even be a part of the world championships. Maybe turn good, I don't know. Maybe even get the kids with this. Maybe they turn good, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You know, and like I said, to the point, like I'll be back, is like his plan's not done. You know, like I'll be back, some like Rago Nemesis type of shit. You know what I mean? Like his role might be done for now, but he can still come back and still be a part of things. You know what I mean? Like he's, because like I feel like after that point he'll just go and ran away, and then I'll be back soon, or I'll be back, and then just cause some major motherfucking shit, like a bomb drop, and like, oh, I come back with the greatest fucking plan ever, or some shit, I don't fucking know, but we'll have to wait and see, man. But yeah, and I kind of said that before, and I think in the theory video, like him going away, like I'll be back type shit or some shit, I don't fucking know, causing major chaos. Maybe he turns good after this, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, y'all, but yeah, that is, I think, about it, man. I've been talking for like if we do the math, like I've basically been filming for like, what, an hour and a half, basically. Yeah, I've been doing this all day, you know. I took a break because I had to do a task, and then catch up with people and stuff, and then, you know, going and doing the, I guess, part 2 with this. I guess I took a break. And yeah, like, I mean, it took time to do this, man. You know, like, especially like the big time dialogue ones, especially with this, they do take like a good amount of time to make, and they take a lot of effort to make. So I want to say, if you watch the whole video, I might premiere this, because, you know, this might be the biggest theory video I've dropped on the channel yet. The biggest theory video I've ever made. You know, like, I mean, I've been filming, like, if we do the math, I've been filming for 30 minutes. The first one was 30 minutes, and then this one's 30 minutes, so it's probably an hour with it, truth be told. The longest fucking theory video I've done, yeah, because you know I fucking love the show, and shit's about to hit the fan, man. Like, yeah, you show it, man, like, and this is also, like, a video. If you haven't seen the theory videos, then this is definitely for you. I hope y'all watched the theory videos and stuff. There's like a little refresher as well with things and just jumping into it. But yeah, but pretty much said everything with this. There might not be another theory video for a bit of time, you know, and stuff. Like I said, this is the biggest one yet, you know. And you already know I'm yapping, so it's already long as it is. But yeah, man, but like I said, man, the plot of this, man, is gonna be fucking crazy, man. Like, yeah, man. And I'm telling y'all, man, I told y'all this from the jump. Season 3, Arc 3, bro, is one of the darkest seasons of X, man. It's one of the darkest seasons of X, man. And like I said, man, isn't not clocking the wake the fuck up, because yeah, this season's about to pop off in a major way. It already is. Even with the first episode, man, calling destruction and all the fucking shit happening, yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like I said this from the jump. We ain't fucking ready. Is it clocking to you? We ain't fucking ready, bro. We are about to drop the bomb. We are about to, volcanoes about to erupt on the season, bro. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And yeah, man, like I said, season 3 is my favorite one. Literally reminds me of like fucking Turbo or some shit, you know, with it. But yeah, but if I'm being honest, this is my favorite season. Yeah, season 3 of X. The bays, the story with it, the pacing with it, with the story with it, and it's gonna get that much crazy with it, you know, that much eventful for it, and you already know it's gonna get crazy. When 126 gets subbed, I'll watch it and stuff. Like I said, now I'm done with the theory videos and stuff. This one took a bit of time, you know, I guess 2 to 3 days of, you know, just gathering thoughts and stuff. And finally, you see how, yeah, this video even took so long, you know. Just how it goes with the theories, man. Just gathering the thoughts and stuff. And also shout out to Kimbo. I gotta shout out Kimbo and stuff with it. Like I said, you got Kimbo's videos. Well, try to also get my own opinions and getting the facts from Kimbo. You know, and you know, just had to state facts and stuff. But you know, this one was an in-depth theory video. So it takes longer than the other ones and stuff. But yeah, but back to the point. But when episode 126 gets up, you know, I'll watch it and stuff. I'll do the live reaction for it when I have the time to and stuff. And I'll probably be talking about what I even said with this. I'm probably talking with it with the live reaction. So stay tuned. But I have reacted up to 125. So if you want to see that reaction, go feel free to watch it. And yeah, pretty dope. But anyways, guys, but that is gonna do it for this one. I hope y'all enjoyed. It'll be much appreciated if y'all leave a like down below. Been filming this basically majority of the day today. So yeah, and also I gotta sit down and edit this video. So basically all day been working on this video. So definitely leave a like down below. Much appreciated. You see how much effort goes into these videos, man, because I fucking love it, man. Literally sitting and soaking in this fucking shit of fucking heat, man. Like, yeah, I don't even know. It shows my fucking will, but yeah, because I fucking love it. And it shows how hard I fucking work. Like, me being real. But yeah, well, like I said, just support the video, man. I've been filming this for a video. This is a big time video and stuff. Took a lot of time and effort to make this video and stuff. So I would definitely appreciate all of you guys' support, leaving a like, dropping a comment, man. Just supporting the love on the video, man. I appreciate you, man. And if you watched all of it, man, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, might premiere this video. You know, since it's the long night, yeah, it'll be out on Premiere. I'm gonna put it on Premiere and stuff. Yeah, I'll have it out for Premiere and stuff on YouTube and stuff, and yeah. But anyways, guys, this is probably gonna be it with the theory videos for a little bit of time and stuff. And I mean that shit, you know. This is the, I guess, the grand finale of it. But yeah, man. But anyways, guys, but that's gonna do it. My throat hurts from talking. I also got, y'all, I don't fucking, yeah, I got the Gatorade bottle from this. And yeah, what the fucking fuck, but yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash subscribe down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I will damn sure ring that bell on Crap Chase notified whenever I upload a video. Once again, I am excited for the show, but I'm fucking nervous at the same time. Holy fucking shit, it's about to get fucking crazy, dude. And yeah, like I said, if you ain't enjoying season 3, wake the fuck up, because it's motherfucking, but yeah, it's about to get crazy, man. About to get motherfucking crazy, man. But until next time, it's your boy Kimo signing off. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay awesome and ghoul shoots or let it rip. I'm about to here, man. Mike motherfucking drop. The longest theory video I've made. Yeah. Probably is, yeah, might even be the longest theory video I've ever done. Yeah, man. It literally shows how hard I motherfucking grind, dude. Like, literally sitting in the motherfucking hot sun. Where is it at now? It's over there. Yeah, it's right the fuck there. Yeah, literally soaked in this motherfucker hole, man. Like, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, the show's about to get fucking crazy. Yeah, we ain't motherfucking ready. Wake the fuck up. Like, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm up out of here, man. Mike motherfucking drop.